हम लोगों का जो एज ग्रुप है और ये जो ज़ेलेनियल वाला या फिर मिलेनियल्स है, why they don't want to be associated with Gen Zs?
The rest of India will also catch up.
Kanpur is international, bro.
World famous.
Kanpur itself is world famous. Kanpur की हर चीज़ world famous है.
And उनका भी पता है, like being from there also is a huge advantage. Why are you so fascinated with Gen Z? ऐसा क्या तुम्हें नहीं, मतलब everyone is, not just you. Everyone is. इतना क्या है यार?
ना मैंने इंट्रोडक्शन देना मतलब बंद कर दिया है. आई वांट पीपल टू लिसन कि पूरा सुनो एंड देन खुद से फिगर आउट लाइक उसकी स्टोरी क्या है लोगों की. बिकॉज स्टार्टिंग से इंट्रोडक्शन दे देना, दैट मीन्स लोगों का एक सर्टेन परसेप्शन बन जाता है अबाउट द अदर पर्सन एंड दे मे चूज नॉट टू वॉच द एपिसोड एंड आई वांट पीपल टू वॉच. सो बट टॉकिंग अबाउट जेन ज़ीज़, I think वैसे एज वाइज आई थिंक इवन आई एम जेन जी. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जेन जी सिर्फ एज से नहीं, वो माइंडसेट से भी होता है.
True, I know people who are very cool, like even when they're like 30-40, Instagram पे बहुत cool है, very Gen Z. तो it is true, but you need थोड़ा तो you need, मतलब you know घर पे if you know someone who's Gen Z, then you get influenced. Otherwise, age is a factor. मतलब because you've not grown up with that technology.
I think it's not just about technology. मेरे कोई भी फ्रेंड्स जैसे प्रॉपर जेन जी नहीं है. एज वाइज आई थिंक होंगे, बट what is it about this age group, अभी का एज ग्रुप 21 to 24-5, what makes them Gen Z enough?
Lot of things. I feel everything from fashion to what they more than like fashion and all, I think what they want, मतलब they're very clear कि उनको क्या चाहिए. They know कि मतलब they realize Instagram पे कोई bullshit कर रहा है तो they know. They know उनको कौन से brands चाहिए. Their thinking is just very different. They're very quick. They're very fast. They are just the mindset. Very fast, very quick. खुद से करते हैं सब कुछ. Very
independent. I also think these guys, Gen Z people, are much more confident enough, right? Because I'm not that active on social media, or especially whenever we think about Gen Zs, social media is a thing for them.
Yeah, I think they like even if they're not confident, they pretend to be confident. Like I know a lot of people जो real life में इतने like they don't talk so much, but Instagram pe they are very like you know they'll post and then they'll like talk to people, so they just seem confident. Maybe I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
I think you can turn it into a good thing, like fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Right? So because like अभी since मैंने भी ये content वाला start किया है, धीरे धीरे करते करते मुझे भी कॉन्फिडेंस आ रहा है. बिकॉज अभी जैसे हम लोग बात कर रहे थे कि पहले के जो पॉडकास्ट होते थे ना, इंट्रो में आई यूज्ड टू शिवर. आई यूज्ड टू बी अ वेरी कैमरा कॉन्शियस गाय. ओके, सो लेट्स टॉक अबाउट जेन ज़ीज़ का फैशन सबसे पहले. राइट, सो व्हाट काइंड ऑफ फैशन आर जेन ज़ीज़ इनटू?
So I was telling y'all before this started also. So if you walk into my college right now and if you go to the canteen, everyone is in cargos. Like I think 90% will be in cargos. So it's like सब वही shops में जाते हैं. जो H&M में trending है वही Gen Z में trending है. So it's kind of like that. मतलब it picks up very fast within and then people have their own touch to it. मतलब एक like they put their own personality to it. So
I think Gen Z's में एक ही चीज़ है कि वो लोग mix and match करते different outfits को and then they make it seem cool.
Yeah.
Right? और जो मैं confidence की बात कर रहा था, ये वो चीज़ है. They're pretty confident. They know what they can they can pull off better. और वो वैसी चीज़ें ही करते हैं.
Even if they मतलब they're very even if it's very out of the way, they are very confident about it. They're very bold. They are not shy about कि this is who I am. They are very confident about that. कि मैं ऐसा हूँ. Like I know so many people in college who are their fashion is not, they don't follow the trends, but they're still very confident about it. So
But in a way, I think they bring trend also,
yeah.
right? Like I come from a zillennial age group. So we people in terms of fashion, what do you think, Kanan? I think हम लोग भी we look up to these guys for fashion in
You do?
some. Huh?
You shouldn't.
I mean there are two kinds of conversations. एक और चीज़ मुझे बात करनी थी कि हम लोगों का जो एज ग्रुप है और ये जो ज़िलेनियल वाला या फिर मिलेनियल्स है, why they don't want to be associated with Gen Zs?
I think it's a pressure यार, मतलब है एक pressure है, like so like my sister is 30, she is also like I would say millennial only, तो 93 she is, तो एक pressure आ जाता है if you call like if you say Gen Z then you have to be like, उसके मेरे साथ भी I'm sure she feels pressure to be like you know Instagram पे like really like up to date and in other things also, मतलब fashion में तो एक प्रेशर आ जाता है Gen Z के साथ.
But why is this social media validation so important for Gen Zs?
I think because you live like social Instagram was fully there when we were growing up. Like it wasn't even taking up. तो हमारे personalities ही काफी like we have so many memories with it also. ऐसे school में we started Instagram, how we evolved and तो there's a lot we grew up with it. तो मतलब ऐसे I know it sounds very like grew up with Instagram but
हाँ मुझे भी याद है कि जब मेरा स्कूल ऑलमोस्ट ख़त्म होने वाला था, I think I was in grade 9 or 10th when I got my first phone.
Wow, okay. 9th or 10th.
Is it a big deal?
Yeah.
Why so?
I mean big deal मतलब not a big deal but थोड़ा सा surprising है. I had my first one 7th में I think.
7th में.
हाँ.
How was it growing up in a city like Mumbai? I think cities का भी बहुत फर्क पड़ता है because the place where I come from, so वहाँ पे even people age 22, 24, they are not Gen Z enough अभी भी. कुछ लोग हैं because वो wannabe Gen Zs, I would call them wannabe Gen Zs who like to be like you guys, but then how is it growing up in such a city?
It's amazing. I mean, there's nothing like Mumbai यार, मतलब कुछ भी कर. I went for my college, I went to Gujarat for a year. मैं भाग के आ गई, मुझे नहीं हुआ. मतलब it's so fast and cities को obviously फर्क पड़ता है. The schools here, तो जो भी आता है इंडिया में, like it came here first. अभी तो फिर भी it's become very equal. But फिर भी it comes to Bombay first. मतलब the fashion comes to, if you go to H&M here, yeah, and like H&M Zara तो सब जगह है भी नहीं. Ahmedabad doesn't have Zara.
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't.
Ahmedabad doesn't?
No, Zara नहीं और H&M भी छोटा सा है. So and stock में फर्क पड़ता है. तो सुना ही मतलब everything comes here first यार. So
I think even Delhi और मुंबई के स्टॉक में काफी डिफरेंस है.
हाँ,
मैंने फील किया है. सही है.
तो उससे naturally you pick up that fast ना, and schools and all. I think वो cities में better भी होते हैं थोड़े से. So that is why
I've lived in Delhi. I've lived in UP also. मेरा schooling I've done in UP. Then post school मैं Delhi में रहा हूँ काफी साल. Like I know how it feels. ठीक है, so we can talk about it. But even you grew up in Mumbai, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then तुम design पढ़ने के लिए you went to Gujarat, and then
long story.
Okay, we can talk about it.
So I went to Gujarat for my first year. मैं actually so I went there because they had this global program जिसमें they were going to 3 different countries पूरे कोर्स में. मैं तो बहुत fascinate हो गई global, मतलब abroad जाना है. तो I did one exchange. मैं इटली में 6 महीने गई थी पढ़ने. But then I had to आना तो वापस गुजरात ही था. वो मुझे बिल्कुल तो I was like यार इससे अच्छा तो मास्टर्स में चली जाती. And Gujarat was not my, मतलब I feel like if you have lived in Mumbai, Delhi you can still do because वो इतना ही fast है.
Delhi और मुंबई के vibes अच्छे नहीं? Vibe is a thing for you guys, right?
Yeah. Vibe is a thing, yeah.
So इटली का vibes कैसा था?
Design, fully design. Like ऐसा लग रहा था ऐसे एयर में भी डिजाइन है. Like I fell in love with design there. तब मुझे actually समझा डिजाइन होता क्या है. because every furniture, every building, every corner, every board, they have designed the whole system, metro systems, and the way they teach it, they're so passionate about it.
Right.
वो vibe एकदम design वाली थी.
Okay, ये थोड़ा सा इंटरेस्टिंग है बिकॉज कमिंग फ्रॉम दिल्ली एंड मूविंग टू मुंबई, आई थिंक मुंबई की वाइब्स अगेन थोड़ी बहुत आर्टिस्टिक है. I feel people appreciate art over here more than Delhi. It could be controversial, मुझे hate भी मिल सकता है जब maybe I haven't explored that part of Delhi because maybe वो इतना ज़्यादा easy approachable नहीं है, और could be I think because I studied in a design college in Mumbai, इसलिए वो मेरे लिए easy access था, right? So can you talk about design college का culture among Gen Z crowd, वो कैसा होता है? What kind of conversations happen in a design school?
I think everything other than design. मतलब हो जाता है डिजाइन भी थर्ड फोर्थ ईयर तक you're like like everything is design, but then तब तक तो you're talking about everything, मतलब what people, small businesses, what they're doing personally, fitness, food, what is new in town, doing everything, मतलब all. Then culture wise we're just chilling out, मतलब vibing ऐसी कुछ ऐसे
नहीं. बिकॉज मुझे एक चीज़ और लगती है कि अबाउट Gen Zs एंड पीपल लाइक लिविंग इन अ अर्बन क्राउड, उनके लिए ये सारी चीज़ें एक्सेस करना थोड़ा इजी होता है, राइट? दे आर द फर्स्ट वन टू नो एवरी ट्रेंड, दे आर द वन टू ब्रिंग द ट्रेंड एज वेल, राइट? डू यू थिंक एनी
मोर दैट्स द केस? मतलब अब एनी मोर डू यू थिंक दैट हैपेंस ऐसे?
आई मीन टू सम डिग्री हो सकता है, बट सी द थिंग इज अगर let's talk about अरन का होम टाउन, राइट? क्लासिक एग्जाम्पल कानपुर.
मैंने तो सिर्फ मूवीज में सुना है, मैंने कभी गई भी नहीं.
Okay, what is the perception about Kanpur? What do you think? How do you picture Kanpur as a city?
I don't picture it, but ठीक है. Something like यार हमटी शर्मा की दुल्हनिया में, I don't know if it was Kanpur also. कानपुर था वो?
It's not Kanpur, but close. Kanpur नहीं है, Kanpur.
बट वाइब सिमिलर मुझे लग रहा है कि.
Okay, tell me, वैसी what do you think वैसी cities में क्या होता होगा?
यार मैं अहमदाबाद में रह चुकी हूँ तो मुझे तो भी थोड़ा आइडिया है.
I think अहमदाबाद एंड कानपुर का कंपैरिजन.
कानपुर इज स्मॉलर देन, इट्स स्टिल स्मॉलर क्या? ओके, क्या और क्या होता है? पहले तो मुझे सबसे ज़्यादा शौक ये होता है, मैं कहीं भी जाती हूँ 10 बजे सब कुछ बंद हो जाता है, मतलब इट्स वेरी शॉकिंग. मतलब
मुंबई में भी आई थिंक मुंबई में 1-2 बजे तक तो चलता है, बट
वो तो ऑफिशियली ना. और ऐसे लोग निकलते ही 10 बजे. यार हम कुछ प्लान बनाना होता है, ठीक है आराम से मिलेंगे 10-11 बजे, विल गो, आएंगे 3-4 बजे. इट्स वेरी नो. एंड लोग इतने होते हैं 10 बजे जब कोई होता नहीं, हमने क्या क्या करके रहे लोग.
राइट. Do you think Gen Zs are?
It's a good thing also, जल्दी सो जाते हैं.
Okay, do you think Gen Zs are more social?
More social?
Why I asked that because अभी तुमने बात की businesses के बारे में, and every other person that I talk to, like मेरे, okay, we both are from same college. She is a junior bachelor in third year, right?
Third year, yeah.
Right. हाँ, so किसी से भी मैं बात करूँ, कोई भी किसी बंदे को देख लो, कोई स्टिकर्स बनाकर बेच रहा है, he's making business out of it. कोई DIY कर रहा है, कोई रेजिन आर्ट कर रहा है, right? Right.
हाँ, I think we spoke about this पहले also कि कोई कुछ ना कुछ कर रहा है. Everyone is doing something, छोटा से छोटा. It's become so easy यार.
Stop laughing, guys. I know हम लोगों के लिए टफ हो रहा है बिजनेस करना, बट
क्या इसमें?
but they are really good business person. Like I think तुम लोग के लिए
मैं एडवाइस चाहिए क्या तुम्हारी Gen Z?
हाँ, definitely
बिजनेस के लिए.
Definitely.
No, I mean हाँ, I think they're just good with marketing यार. मतलब उन्होंने बचपन से they've been like camera conscious, if you say, like I don't think no one is camera conscious. लोग even if they don't post it ज़्यादा, but अपने spams पे, अपने personal पे तो लोग बनाते ही है काफ़ी dances, everything. And इतने opportunities है, इतने हैं कि मतलब ऐसे guilt लगता है कि तुम कुछ कर नहीं रहे हो तो. So
is it why लोगों को FOMO होता है और वो content पर आ जाते हैं, because everyone around you is doing business, and then that kind of pushes you to do something.
That's a good kind of FOMO.
हाँ.
मतलब you feel motivated also कि यार ये अलग ही कुछ कर रहा है, मैं भी कुछ अलग ट्राई करता हूँ. If he can do something so different, तो मैं भी कुछ अलग ट्राई कर लेता हूँ. What is wrong? So ऐसे अलग अलग try and you're not losing anything. मतलब what are you losing in making an account? What are you losing in Canva पे free ads बनाने, या फिर you're not losing anything. वो सब free में तुम्हें बन रहा है, तो फिर it's easy ना.
Right.
तो yeah.
एंड जेन जी क्राउड आई थिंक ये लोग ज़्यादा अप्रिशिएट करते हैं आर्ट को. मतलब आई थिंक बहुत पहले लोग आर्ट को अप्रिशिएट करते थे. बीच में जब ये इंजीनियरिंग आया, बीच में एकदम से मेडिकल आया, पीपल वर रियली अबाउट इट कि टेक वाज अ थिंग. एंड आई थिंक वो डिज़ाइन वाला कल्चर, ओके मैं थोड़ा बायस्ड हो सकता हूँ बिकॉज हम सब लोग एक सिमिलर स्पेस में, एंड मैनी पीपल हु वुड बी वॉचिंग अस दे वोंट बी एबल टू रिलेट. बट overall now I feel people appreciate designs and there is design in everything, right?
I think design तो था यार इंडिया में.
But-
like NID was so old, like it was there and conversation भी थी. I feel like अभी cities की बात करो, बॉम्बे दिल्ली में, बॉम्बे में तो हमेशा से था. like you see these galleries in काला घोड़ा, that's art, it's not design. but फिर भी like it was still there. but अभी yeah, appreciation has grown in terms of अवेयरनेस आ गई है. स्मॉल बिजनेसेस आर विलिंग टू इन्वेस्ट इन प्रोडक्ट डिजाइनर में और इंजीनियर में क्या फ़र्क है, थोड़ा समझ रहे हैं उनको कि यार चाहिए हमें डिज़ाइनर भी चाहिए. पहले तो पता ही नहीं था. तो इंडिया में भी जो स्मॉल बिजनेसेस, लाइक आई वर्क विद अ स्टार्टअप, सो दे अंडरस्टैंड द वैल्यू ऑफ डिज़ाइन. सो दैट इज दैट.
But I want to understand from Gen Z perspective, what kind of designs do they appreciate?
I feel anything which is bold, which has its own story, which is हाँ एक अच्छा ओरिजिनल स्टोरी. बोल्डनेस बहुत अप्रिशिएटेड है. मतलब बोल्ड कलर्स भी नहीं, बट जस्ट द लैंग्वेज. इफ इट्स बोल्ड, इफ इट्स आर्टिस्टिक, एंड इट शुड लुक कूल. लाइक इट शुड नॉट लुक वेरी.
एंड आई थिंक ये पहले भी था, मे बी अगेन बिकॉज ऑफ सोशल मीडिया ज़्यादा एक्सपोजर में आ रहा है.
हाँ.
राइट. I see a lot of young kids coming up with different, like बहुत सारे illustrators, graphic designers, even UX designers, right?
Yeah, I think anything from a part जो अभी, because Gen Z they appreciate whatever is different from the rest. अगर ये कुछ अलग कर रहा है तो उनको इंटरेस्ट आ जाएगा कि ये कुछ अलग तो कर रहा है यार, बाकी सब सेम देख के बोर हो जाते हैं यार फिर. तो दैट इज अप्रिशिएटेड. वो पुश होता है, मोटिवेट करता है.
But why a lot of people these days they are inclined towards design education? because just because वो cool है करना?
नहीं, I don't think so, because it's too expensive and expensive a course to do it for being cool. तो वो कितना भी cool हो जाए, expensive है काफ़ी. तो that cannot be the only reason that people are moving towards it. But I think scope तो देख रहे हैं यार लोग. Like I know हमारे 2 बैच के बाद आई थिंक द इनटेक इज डबल इन कॉलेज.
Okay.
सो इनटेक एंड इन सब में लाइक दे डोंट नो एग्जैक्टली ऑल्सो. अगर डिसिप्लिन दे माइट नॉट नो, बट दे आर सीइंग दैट स्कोप बिकॉज एवरी वन इज टॉकिंग और कंपनीज आर पुटिंग आउट थिंग्स. यू कैन सी ना, यू कैन फील लाइक अपॉर्चुनिटीज बढ़ रहे हैं.
राइट. हाँ, आई थिंक ओवरऑल डिजाइन का डिमांड बढ़ रहा है.
UI UX तो वैसे भी अभी इतना ही हो गया है. लाइक अभी तुम 10 बार ऐड देखोगे UI UX कोर्सेज का, तो यू विल फील ना कि यार है इसमें कुछ तो है.
What do you think about UX? What is it? What's your perception about UX?
I feel it's everything from A to Z. Like if product हो या service हो, उसका जो experience है, like how does it? It's not just about that one activity. Everything from before it to after it. तो दैट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड वो हमने देखा ही नहीं है बहुत टाइम से.
ये एक परसेप्शन पता है Tier 2 और Tier 3 सिटीज़ में लोगों का है, बिकॉज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट फेमस कंटेंट क्रिएटर्स इन UX इंडस्ट्री, देयर टू नेम अ फ्यू, सप्ता. लाइक आई स्टार्टेड वाचिंग हिज कंटेंट जब मैं अपनी UX UI स्टार्ट कर रहा था. Then came this guy, Design Pilot.
Yeah.
Ansh Mehra is doing such a great job.
Doing so good.
Right?
And he's so updated with things. उसके सब updated courses, updated free things. So very nice.
But still, to some extent, all of these content creators, I don't really remember this name. This content creator, UX Anudeep. He's a guy who talks about UX apart from digital landscape as well, beyond digital landscape. He talks about physical experiences as well,
Okay.
right? और ये एक notion है which we are trying to break in like among tier 2 or tier 3 cities का crowd कि UX is not
Just digital.
not just digital screen.
Yeah,
It's not
for
just
sure.
apps and websites.
For sure. क्योंकि वो UI UX pair हो जाता है ना, then it becomes confusing.
So you were asking me about,
The courses, the UI UX के short courses जो होता है.
I think बहुत कम लोग हैं जो ऑनलाइन इस चीज़ के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. I know. Okay, I can plug in everything UX now, right? So why this podcast? Because we want to break this notion कि UX is only about digital screens, right?
For sure.
और हम लोग भी अपने एफर्ट्स अभी डाल रहे हैं so that we can bring literally anyone on the podcast and then try to understand कि उनके नीश में UX कैसे है, right? So it's not just digital screens, right?
Yeah, correct. Physical, and we अभी इंडिया में they've started to appreciate. If you see now, I think राम मंदिर का जो navigation है, like अभी जो किया है, वो designer has done it. A UI UX designer has.
Can you tell me about it?
Yeah, I don't remember the name. मैंने LinkedIn पे इसका ये
अच्छा.
देखा था that he posted about it. He's done the navigation and all उसका. Then T2 airport मुंबई का, they have, so I don't know if you've noticed अभी recently if you've gone, there is like this space which is like coming soon ऐसे आया है.
Okay.
So they've hired there was a competition. वो competition में they asked people to pitch their experience. कुछ I think security का experience है, ऐसा कुछ था.
Right.
And design agencies pitched it, and I think 2-1 ऐसे इसमें collaboration में. So now they're collaborating to make that experience. So imagine that experience coming from a design agency.
Right.
It will be completely different. So that annoying experience of an airport will obviously become better.
Definitely. And then like इसके बारे में बात कर लो, या फिर social impact design is it's a big thing. So anyone who wants to get into design of social impact design, it's like a whole different niche to get into,
Yeah.
right? Apart from that, talking about Gen Zs that like way too good at packaging also. The kind of insane packaging abhi recently thank you. So abhi recently Zepto it became a news. Abhi Christmas में they started some illustrations on their
The bag ना?
the
Yeah.
bag, right?
That was Blinkit.
Blinkit?
हाँ.
Zepto?
नहीं Blinkit for sure.
Sure. Okay. दोनों कर रहे हैं I think.
दोनों अभी हाँ
To
वो
some
कॉपी कर
extent.
लिया होगा.
But overall, brands are valuing all of these things, right? And ultimately, you guys are doing it. Somewhere I've heard, I'm not sure if it's true, Zomato के जो mostly marketing campaigns हैं,
Yeah,
it's
they're
run by
very
Gen Zs,
creative. Yeah, they're very
right?
nice.
They're very creative and quirky as well.
But you're talking about graphic now, like
हाँ.
Gen Z का, this is good only, like the graphic element. But I feel that still, like हम बोलते हैं, like sustainability and all. But if you are making things which are so graphically ऐसे, they are not going to be so multi-purpose and you can't dispose. So it's like, it's very fast moving. Abhi ke liye it will look very nice,
Right.
very cool. But after that it will like, is it truly like good design? So if it's looking at just from the graphic point of view, then it's amazing.
Right.
But I think Gen Z still needs to think about like sustainability, and जितना हम बोलते हैं उतना करते नहीं है sustainability के बारे में.
This could be a controversial topic to talk about. Could be. Not sure, but then how?
Yeah.
No, so I want to talk about where does this creativity bloom from?
In Gen Z.
In Gen Z, बहुत से लोगों का perception है because Gen Zs mostly they are into smoking and all of that, right? वहाँ से आता है. What do you think about it?
Please. Creativity can't come from smoking. So that idea of a creative person जो हमने बना के रखा है, it's not true. Like everyone, at least subjectively, I think I have been the most creative in the lockdown when I was in the house and just, waking up early, doing like yoga and all. So it can come from very healthy things also. You don't need to smoke for it. But otherwise, I feel Gen Z now, their parents, they give them that space to be creative. So I read this book called Creative Confidence. Uska first page says that thank you to your parents who gave you that space to be freedom to be creative. you need that space. वो space ना तुम्हें तुम्हारे relationship से चाहिए, friends से चाहिए, parents से, and Gen Z को वो मिलता है अपने parents से. I feel
space is important. Right? समझो. Right.
तो I feel parents से भी like parents have started to understand design is creativity के लिए क्या चाहिए. They let their children be in their room and पहले वो सब I don't think था like you know.
I think अभी भी बहुत जगह अभी भी नहीं है. ये एक बहुत रिकरिंग कन्वर्सेशन है इस पॉडकास्ट की कि हम लोग के जो भी पेरेंट्स हैं ना उनको भी अभी क्लियरली नहीं पता हम लोग करते क्या है.
So that's what even if they don't understand they respect it. I feel Gen Z में है थोड़ा ऐसे.
Yeah, but since we have made it to this space, I would really appreciate at least हम लोगों के पेरेंट्स again from the place where we come from, कानपुर जैसी सिटी में वहाँ अगर बट वही है कि अगर लोगों के पास तक ये चीज़ें पहुँचेंगी ना, कंटेंट प्लेज अ बिग रोल. दे नो व्हाट इज UX, राइट? बट जो UX का परसेप्शन, अगेन सेम चीज़ बार मैं वही बोलूँ कि UX अभी भी कानपुर में किसी से भी पूछो, हिल से कि मुझे फिग्मा सिखा दो एंड देन UX आ गया. That's
but
not
you
the
can't
case.
expect your parents ka age to really understand also. It's fine if they don't really get it. It's wrong for you to because इतना जल्दी change हुआ है सब कुछ. How can you expect them to understand every bit of it ना? मतलब UI UX से अभी पूरा digital spaces में चला गया, AR VR में. Then it's moved on to उसका भी design अलग हो गया है अभी. Digital spaces का design. You can't expect them to understand everything. But it's now like कानपुर जैसी जगह में आई थिंक कि अभी डिजिटल इंटरनेट तो सब होता है, तो
हाँ इंटरनेट होता है कानपुर में, ऐसा नहीं है.
मतलब आई एम सेइंग इट्स नॉट एज बैड एज यू थिंक. ऐसे बॉम्बे कुछ इतना भी ये नहीं है. आई फील लाइक the rest of India will also catch up.
Kanpur is international, bro.
world famous.
Kanpur itself is world famous. Kanpur की हर चीज world famous है.
And उनका भी पता है, like being from there also is a huge advantage. Like talk about culture and Gen Z को इतना culture के बारे में, at least from Bombay and Delhi, it's hard for you to know about the cultures of India if you're from here. मतलब every city का artisan, you're reading about it. But ये लोग सब जो like from our college, if someone's from Kolkata, they know so much about their culture, rich culture. उनका जो हम कितना भी इंटरनेट पे ढूंढ ले, so it's a good thing also कि तुम if you're coming from these places, तुम्हारी वो आइडेंटिटी बहुत ओरिजिनल हो जाती है एज अ डिजाइनर.
So what kind of conversations happen? घर पे कैसे बात होती है तुम लोग की?
About
like when you talk to your parents about design, do you talk to your parents?
Yeah, a lot. मैं तो चालू जाती हूँ. Actually, I'm very lucky that they're very open. So they're very open-minded. So in fact, my dad even helps me with some of my designs. So I feel like अगर उनके time पे if he had this space ना, he would have for sure become a designer. Matlab, because he didn't get that, he was forced into the finance field and everything. But he has that mind. So if you and the open-mindedness is important, na? So I talk to them. I tell them कि ये हमारा project है. This is the so for my internship there was this brief, okay? तो उसके लिए he gave me the problem actually. So in design, you know how we understand the user and का problem. So I was just, evaluating, and they sometimes just feel like, क्या तू कितना question पूछती है, कितना research कर. And then he just casually mentioned a problem like, listen, you can take this up, you can take this temple area का problem, and he kind of directed. And actually मेरा वो solution में काम है. So I tell them it's nice. They're open about it. So I have one question I want to ask you, but तो स्टार्ट करो फिर पूछती हूँ. ओ स्टार्ट है, ओके. मुझे ये बताओ, व्हाई यू सो फैसिनेटेड विद जेन ज़ी? ऐसा क्या तुम्हें? नहीं मतलब एवरीवन इज, नॉट जस्ट यू, एवरीवन इज. इतना क्या है यार, मतलब आई डोंट गेट इट बिकॉज आई गेस वी आर अ पार्ट ऑफ द.
Okay, I'll be brutal honest over here because
like, what is your perception of?
Okay. Wanna be Gen Z? nahi. Okay, I'll be very honest. Why I want to talk about Gen Z is because ये topic चल रहा है content में. Okay. and I thought it would be fascinating to talk about Gen Z's mindset. Because as a designer, it's our duty to understand the users. And these are going to be next set of users in next 5 to 10 years down the line. Any kind of experience I like look forward to in designing. ऐसे लोगों से मुझे डील करना है, so it's vital for me to understand what do you guys deal with, how do you guys think. So similarly goes for you, like as a designer, what do you think? Do you consider designers as your niche, or?
Yeah, I do. I feel like मुझे like when I move forward, I want to get into something else, like but it will always be tied to design. तो इतना मैं पहुंच गई हूँ कि design niche ऐसे.
You know, I think Gen Zs don't have that level of patience that we have
For sure.
went through. There's this website, I don't think तुम लोगों ने use भी किया होगा या नहीं, IRCTC. It used to be.
किया यार, हम जाते हैं ट्रेन में.
My bad.
तुम्हें क्या लगता है हम जेट में जाते हैं?
But IRCT didn't used to be the way it is right now. उसका UI, उसका overall experience used to be like ugly as fuck.
Yeah.
Right? So overall experience मैंने देखा है पहले कैसा होता था और अभी. So these are kind of things you need to be aware of कि Gen Zs they won't
tolerate it. They will be like छोड़ भाई नहीं जाना, मतलब it's very annoying.
Like as a normal user, a Gen Z who's non-designer as well, they know कौन सा app अच्छा है दिखने में या नहीं है.
Intuitively they know which one is good.
Right.
Yeah. Even if they're not ready.
Right.
Correct.
So
good observation.
So what all things do you consider?
As a designer, if I design for Gen Z,
Yeah.
It has to be very cool. Okay, like very cool. मतलब because like college में भी when we were doing the college fest में we were putting up things. कितना भी कुछ concept अच्छा बना लो, it has to be photo worthy, it has to be Instagram worthy, it has to be those things. So you can't deny it. वो कितना भी shallow लगे तुम्हें, but you can't deny it. So
Right.
you have to make it that way. Secondly, I would consider quickness. I feel it's बहुत like it's more like less than. I was having this conversation with my brother-in-law कि that is the curse of our generation. बिल्कुल patience नहीं है. We have 1 second we want replies, 1
Right.
second we want people to respond, pages to load, and so I think time will for sure something I'll consider. Even if 5 seconds का difference पड़ रहा है, I will consider that UI more than.
Remember Munib and Anand, do you guys remember Facebook में पहले क्या होता था कि तुम लोग तो Facebook यूज़ भी नहीं करते होगे ना? नहीं करते ना?
बहुत पहले करते थे.
हाँ, so Facebook में एक टाइम होता था जब Facebook ऐप नहीं था, it used to be a web application, right? Even while commenting on a friend's post or liking a friend's post, पूरा पेज रिफ्रेश होता था. You had to wait for 3 or 4 seconds every time you comment or like or interact with the design.
Oh my god, I can't imagine interacting with it.
Right?
Like buying.
Okay. So this is it?
Yeah, I think we're towards the end of, we've reached the end of this.
हाँ भाई, I wanted to know, like as a designer and as a user also, what do you think?
Did you
about
get
design?
enough idea about, do you think now you can make a user persona about Gen Z?
I think so. So overall मुझे कुछ points समझ में आए कि एक तो मेरा जो पहले से perception था, they don't have patience for sure. So while designing for Gen Zs, I'll keep that in mind, right? Aesthetics are a thing. If you have to design for Gen Zs, you need to understand their vibes.
Yeah.
बहुत important है. It's not just digital products. Your marketing and content should be really great. And this is not only true for Gen Zs, even our parents sitting
They've fallen
back home.
into the
social media trap. वो करना ही पड़ेगा. All of these things. Businesses, they are really good. I want business tips off camera. उसके बारे में भी बात करेंगे.
तुम्हारा रेजिन आर्ट का तो बिजनेस नहीं है ना? बताओ तो सही किसका बिजनेस है? Okay, sure. So okay, we'll talk about it then.
Yeah. So like we were lucky enough to have you on the podcast. I love the conversation.
Yes.
So
it was very
do you listen to podcasts?
Yeah.
What kind of podcasts do you guys listen to?
I mean, I personally, guys, Gen Z, I don't know, but personally, I feel I listen to self-help. I listen to, do you know Tim Ferriss? It's a very big podcast. तो 2-3 घंटे के होते हैं. तो that, then their design podcasts also, like The Future. फिर वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग यार, मतलब बिजनेसेस आई लव टू स्टडी लाइक बिजनेसेस एंड ऑल, तो मतलब मैं बुक्स भी वही, तो आई स्टडी लाइक CEO का पॉडकास्ट ऑल्सो or Duolingo CEO. So if you see, I actually got inspired by this designer a lot. Airbnb का जो CEO है, he is a product designer.
Right.
तो उसका पूरा पॉडकास्ट सुन के आई वाज लाइक यार नहीं, डिजाइन के बाद भी यू कैन बिकम अ वेरी सक्सेसफुल बिजनेस, you don't have to just limit yourself to.
Definitely. So like since we have your friends also, what do you think, what kind of conversations Gen Zs like to listen to? Like as a podcaster, it's important for me to understand कैसी बातें सुनना पसंद करते हो तुम लोग?
Honestly, I think Gen Z doesn't have the 2 hour focus. She's an exception, I'd say.
Yeah. No, मैं वो 2 hours भी ऐसे 3 दिन में डिवाइड करके
I don't think you guys have that amount of time ना, इतनी सारी चीजें कर रहे हो तुम लोग.
Attention span that's reduced. If you look at our parents, वो एक ही न्यूज़ को 20 बार देख रही है.
Right.
शुरू होता है.
Right.
But if you look at us, when the same reel is coming up for the second time, it gets you annoyed. And even if 15 seconds of content is like, okay, swipe. I think podcasting, we just like arrow.
Yeah. I to put a sleep timer for 10 minutes. तो every day 10 minutes ही सुनती हूँ मैं बस.
So हम लोग के podcast सुनने में तुम लोग को मतलब months लगेगा, right? Do you think it would be good to
shorten it?
make नहीं overall duration तो see ultimately over a span of 3 या 4 बार तुम लोग खत्म तो कर ही सकते हो. I don't think we release more than 40 minutes or so, right? So is it wise enough to cut short and then make clips out of it and post it?
Clips really work. It can really go trending. It can also give a short insight on it can draw people in. Like that's how I also get drawn to new podcasts. So, but even shortening, I used to listen to this podcast called the Habit Coach podcast.
Okay.
It was like a 1-minute podcast. And I know it sounds very short, but बहुत अच्छा होता था. Like it was so interesting in that 1 minute also. So I feel like you can actually consider reducing also and kind of having these small bits
and pieces, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Sure, we'll make up to that. Okay. So anyways, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
Really loved having conversation with her. She's Maahi. Okay.
Yes.
So as I told you, we don't really introduce starting में, बाद में करते हैं. So अभी बहुत सी बातें करनी है कैमरा के पीछे भी. So we'll just.
Yes. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for having me.
Bye. This is the most informal podcast we had. इसमें मजा आएगी. ये रिकॉर्ड करना रह गया था ना. बोलो.
सुबह 9:30 को your चाय like my petrol. Thank you good one चाय.
Thank you so much. मैं होस्ट भी हूँ, मैं चाय भी बनाता हूँ पूरे क्रू के लिए. That's one thing I do.
That's
so, yeah.
Thank you so much.
चलो अभी और भी रिकॉर्ड करना है बहुत सारे पॉडकास्ट.